1998 Mitsubishi Evo 5 GSR, imported from Japan. Was it overnighted?
Oh, I didn't overnight it from Japan. No, no. Oh, man.
Look at all those people down there. They follow the rules for what? They're letting fear lead them.
I overnighted myself over there to go get it.
I absolutely love this car. One of the things as a car enthusiast that I've always wanted to do was drive an Evo when I was a kid playing Gran Turismo. This was the car that I used to drive. This car and the Grand Sport Corvette. It's a dream of mine to be able to review this car while I'm getting used to being on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, right-hand drive car. What motivated you to make this purchase?
I mean, I was hunting for it. Before these cars were legal, I knew I wanted one. I was keeping an eye on the market well before they were ready to import. To your point, I played in Gran Turismo. Going back to like the PS2 days and sitting there playing in cars and doing the rally side of things, it was always, the Evo was the one I was always playing with. And, you know, I lived the Subaru life. I wanted to do some 4G life, and I had some history with that. I had a GST Spider back in the day. I was looking for this. I wanted it when it became legal. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, good old racing brake pads. I wanted this car, and I was looking overseas for it, and I couldn't really find the perfect fit. And I was planning a trip over to Japan, actually, just for fun. And while I was getting ready for that, I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna line up 2 or 3 cars to go see while I'm over there. Got a tip from a friend of mine, and he's like, hey, this shop, they pretty much always do GTRs, but they had this Evo sitting up there. You should check them out.
Interesting.
And that was it. Made history.
We're gonna warm those brakes up.
Oh yeah, they just there's just no loving. The only way to get them to do it quietly
Racing.
is pressure.
Racing.
They don't understand gentle. I haven't had a chance to swap these back yet to my. I run like Project Moves in the street, but these are like I think like DTC 30s or something. So it's much more of a track pad.
And I'm also definitely not going to be able to get enough heat in those to make them stop.
Chandelier on the ceiling, shining bright, you know the feeling, yeah.
Yeah, the only way they respond around town is just if you don't want them to squeal.
Just got to put your foot in as well. So, were you only looking at Evo 5 GSRs?
No, I was just hunting for Evos. I did look at 33s, like R33 GTRs. They were a good deal, but you know, I had a car that was a track car. I had the Frankenboxer Porsche. I wanted a car to be able to take actually into dirt and gravel. An R33 really wasn't going to cut it for that. This was a car to do that in. It was this or a Subaru, and I've built the Subarus in the past. I've done that. I wanted to go back to the Evo.
Talk to me about how you got it back to the United States.
Yeah, so I met with somebody over there who does like a lot of importation. They helped me do all the deregistration work, because that's actually quite a bit of work in Japan to deregister the car. And then after that, it's pretty easy to get the US side done. I only had the port customs document done by a broker. And the reason I did that was because usually things need to be greased to get it done in time.
You have to grease some palms.
A little bit.
Corruption is not bad. Corruption is only bad if I'm not involved.
Yes. If you don't, if the broker's not connected into the ports, or you don't grease some palms yourself, you might have like more difficulty.
Getting used to it. I need to grease these pads palms. That's what I need to do. They're relatively easy to register.
Yeah, thankfully. The hardest part was there was a VIN inspection you had to do in Atlanta, and a cop randomly just rolls up there at a certain time of day, like you're supposed to be there, and he just rolls up to you, are you here for the VIN inspection? And then that's it. I'm like, okay. And outside of that, actually registering at the DMV, I got lucky. I went in there, the lady was like, she reached over to the person next to her, hey, didn't we just have one of these this morning? Somebody came that same morning with the K car. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they had it all set up.
This car is loud, and it's a cop magnet.
Yeah.
It has a big wing on it. Even in this silver, it still stands out.
Well, yeah, when we started the video, I think you'll probably have a screenshot of that. Is the guy literally walked by the front of the car, and he went like this. He went,
yeah. They either know what it is or don't know what it is. And both of those are problems. Talk to me a little bit more about the powertrain. Ford G63, 5-speed, all-wheel drive. What makes a GSR a GSR?
So there's pretty much 2 trims. There's GSR and RS. RS was the rally car. You bought an RS to go racing in Group N. AC was optional. I think most of them didn't have it. Roll-up windows, steel wheels, actually smaller brakes, didn't have Brembos, didn't have Recaros, because they knew you're going to turn this into a race car. You're just going to gut it. So why am I going to bother doing that? No active yaw control. So they got rid of that as well. So if you weren't really going rally racing, you didn't want an RS, you wanted a GSR. Most people ended up with the GSR. That's kind of the two main models. Outside of that, those are all the variants and just color choice. Weren't a lot of options in these cars. Silver, red, black, and white, and blue and yellow. Yeah, the blue and the yellow are really rare. The blue was really rare. The most common was the white. I think silver was the second most common, then black. Oh, I forgot red, of course.
Yeah, red.
Red.
Red's hot.
Red's hot, yeah. But yeah, I mean, not a lot of options in these cars.
Like,
aggressive, man, aggressive.
I'm trying.
Coming hotter, coming hotter.
You got a lot in 1998, like almost 300 horsepower. Basically 300 horsepower. All-wheel drive. Build quality is still pretty damn good, especially in comparison to a lot of the other stuff that I've driven. For a car that is coming up on, what's that? It's coming up on 25 years old. 25, 20.
Closer to 30 now.
Close to 30 years old. How many 30-year-olds that I know that are in the condition that this car is in and have less miles? Steering is tight, shift linkage is tight. It feels relatively modern. If you drive a comparable C5, it's rattling, it's making all types of noise. It's
very plasticky, yeah.
Very plasticky. The seats do this thing.
Build quality, at the end of the day, you think about like the 90s Japanese era, it was just a cheap car. And it was built to be reliable and just last a long time. I mean, everybody talks about, like we just passed one right there, you know, those early 2000s Camrys and Accords, they don't die. And it's just the way the Japanese are building cars and engineering cars back then. When you have a performance car out of that, the Japanese were great at that. They're like, you're not going to get luxury. There's no frills. There's nothing to go wrong. I mean, the most advanced thing this has in the interior is automatic climate control.
Which looks pretty freaking cool for the era.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it was just a cheap economy car. They put an awesome engine and drivetrain in. I mean, I can buy parts for a Mitsubishi Mirage for this car to fix it and do work on it. So, keeps it easy.
And we kind of got into the interior a bit.
There you go.
I committed. Look, it took me a little bit. It took me a while, but I committed to braking hard.
The only downside you run into is if the guy behind you isn't paying attention.
That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about not being able to stop. I'm worried about, you know, the Tesla behind me that was speeding uphill that is looking at the car and not paying attention to it, because those are two different things.
He's got collision mitigation braking. He'll be fine.
He does, yeah.
It's modern enough.
It'll mitigate the damage, but they'll still be damaged. Tesla drivers are the worst drivers on the road.
I'm like, what do you say fuck me for?
There are multiple studies that show Tesla drivers are the highest risk because they are not paying attention.
Yes, yeah. It's starting to become the car you get when you don't care about cars. When the car is an appliance to you, get a Model 3.
Not just any Model 3.
Base model.
The base.
Let's go a little further. See, it's quiet when you're really on it.
There we go. See, and
when you're gentle. What I love about cars, you look at the stats of a car and it does not tell a story. This car and my Frankenbox or the Porsche had the same power to weight ratio. They weigh about the same, which is kind of surprising. They have about the same power. But outside of that, totally different cars. And I always think about it as the Porsche is like a scalpel. It's very precise and responds amazing to inputs. Everything feels incredible. This is a sledgehammer. You gotta grab it by the scruff of the neck and just go. Throttle, hard. Brakes, hard. Steering, really commit. Throw it in there. That's what it responds to.
And I remember you telling me that before I drove it. I love doing that to my own car. Whenever I do these reviews with other people's cars, I'm never gonna take someone's car and give it 80%. I probably keep it around 50% because this is someone's car. Like, I don't want to break someone's car and inconvenience them. Talk to me a little bit more about, now that you have this car, what are your plans for it?
So I would call this like the first iteration of what I wanted the car to be. So it's of the era basic bolt-on. So it is intake, exhaust, tune, and then I just refreshed. I mean, I went through and put like an engine grill in the bottom of the engine, do like, you know, pan scraping, kind of protect against that. Like redid the injectors, cleaned them out, flow bench tested them, redid the fuel pump, and just gave it like all that maintenance love that a 25-year-old car needs. So it can do that. Okay. It doesn't respond to gentle. It just doesn't respond to gentle. And even like part throttle, when you're kind of like easing in and out, when you're crossing the boost threshold, you know, kind of like it'll buck a little bit when it crosses the threshold sometimes. It just doesn't respond well to gentle.
I got a video, I'm gonna put it up here, of Mark doing a pull on this where he knows his car.
it's hard. Yeah, like I said, you're banging the gears.
Moral story, don't bang gears in your friends' cars. What do you think about that? I think that whenever I drive my friends' cars,
Yeah.
I always, oh, that's not a good place to break down.
It sucks.
It's a Lincoln Town car though. They don't break down. I don't know.
But
I don't like
yeah, no,
that.
when it comes to like friends' cars, I don't beat on them. I try not to. I'll push it in like an 80%.
Yeah, I didn't commit.
Commit again. This is the car of commission. Like commission? No.
Committal. Yeah.
This is your girlfriend's favorite car.
Okay. This is yeah. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is stage 1.
I looked at what was out there and I didn't like what I saw, so I built it myself. I wanted an intake system. I didn't like what I saw in the market. I wanted to use that NACA duct in the hood from like WRC level. I made it myself. So SpeedinEngineering is just, I'm making parts for myself and then selling them on the market because people are interested in them. So that gauge pod up there is the very first one I did. So it's not like the ones that I sell now are much better than that. And it's non-destructive. It fits in there. It's clean in the line of sight. Doesn't obstruct the view. The intake system that I have for these cars, it's like inspired by the WRC cars, evolved past that. It's more advanced, more engineering behind it than they had on those cars. Little extra things you can add on to Euro 5, OEM plus style, nothing too obtrusive, and focus on reversibility.
Mark, you worked at Honda, right? You were a Honda engineer.
First, I was a mechanic, even before engineering, and I solved problems as a mechanic, like, why the hell are engineers doing like this? This doesn't make any sense. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna figure out how to fix it myself. Went back to school, got an ME degree, became an engineer. Got my first job working for Honda R&D. Did work on the Acura NSX, did the rear suspension on that, some other testing components. Civic and Ridgeline, all that same era. Then I went into aerospace. I actually worked on NASA projects, Missile Defense Agency, some really hardcore engineering stuff. But yeah, I mean, all that engineering knowledge is what I put into these products. It's probably a bit more hardcore than it needs to be in terms of the engineering analysis to make it work, but that's what makes this more than just another box.
Just a part.
Yeah, it's not just something that, oh, hey, it fits. I thought about water intrusion, thought about heat cycling, thought about insulation, I thought about, all these aspects that have to go into a true engineered product. 2 decades of engineering experience.
If you're going to import a car from Japan, something as special as this, you don't want to put second-rate and third-rate parts onto the car. And I think that's really important.
You buy it once, don't buy it twice. Cool thing is too, I do a lot of custom stuff because I can. So if someone reaches out to me, it's like, hey, can you do this one part? They'll send me something in the mail or reverse engineer it and make something one-off for them. So I can do even like bespoke work. A lot of the brands that used to support this car, your HKSs, your Monsters, and these other brands, they don't really support this car anymore. There's no business model for them anymore. So these parts that are out there from these bigger brands, they're 25 years old too. The engineering is 25 years old. It doesn't make sense if I'm HKS to do more in R&D and investment in a platform like this. The amount of these cars that are left, the amount of these cars that are being modded, you're probably talking across Evo 4 to 6, maybe 10,000 cars, maybe that are actually buying mods and parts for this. So
if you could do it all again, would you get the same car? Would you get something else? Is there anything else you have your eyes on at this point?
I have my eyes on everything.
Okay. Why not?
I'm always looking at other cars, but I would say not at the moment. I wouldn't have changed this purchase. I got a great deal on this car. Then, honestly, the right timing. It was a cool car at the time, rust-free, don't have to worry about that. Could I have paid more for like a collector grade or waited another year and got a Tommy Mackinnon? Yeah, but I like the big circle fog lights, and the Tommy Mackinnon didn't have that, so, and it has a smaller turbo. No, we don't want that. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't have changed this car at all. And as far as what's next, oh man, a million things in my head. Off the top of my head, the first one is probably FD.
You want problems?
Yes, I do. I love that car. It's such a beautiful car. And then play with the rotary platform a little bit more. I've had a very little experience back in like the early 2000s with friends, but never really my own. So. But no, I mean, that's the thing is, like, at the end of the day, like, some of like the UK guys will joke, like, oh, the Americans, they're getting so excited, they just got it. I'm like, yeah, we did. Yeah. We are excited. You guys got a chance to play with these cars long before we did. I mean, we've been neglected for 25 years. And we get all the cool stuff was kept away from us. Yeah, we're geeking out about it now and making videos and having fun with it, but it's definitely a platform that, to your point, I wouldn't have picked something different. I mean, and even when I'm hunting, like, looking at the price of these things now, I even still tell my friends, like, it's a bargain. Like, these JDM cars, like, the experience you get from this, I mean, think about this. If you wanted to do still the all-wheel drive, rally kind of experience, your only other choice is, a period also STI. The period STIs, they didn't have big wide bodies on them.
So my name is Bella Hadid.
They had a pretty pedestrian looking body, I'll be honest. Like, then I love a GC. Flat 4, I love it and I hate it, and I love it and I hate it. I can't hate it because I had them and I built them and they are amazing engines, but yes, they are full of problems. Man, the 4G is just a tank. I'd get another Evo 5 tomorrow.
If that's not a testament to how awesome this car is, and I won't get any... Almost. I'm sorry. I failed you guys. Mark, thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for this experience. Thank you for sharing it with me and with everyone that's going to watch it. Looking forward to bringing you more interesting cars like these. Make sure you go and check out Mark's site. If you have an Evo and need Evo parts, he's your guy. That wraps up this review. If you like what you see and you enjoyed this, I want to know what you think. Leave a comment and let me know what you like about the Evo 5. Would you buy one? Have you always wanted one? What car did you drive when you played Gran Turismo? I love bringing these videos to you guys and I want to improve. And the only way I can do that is with getting feedback from you. Thank you so much for your time. Peace.